The paradox of poverty. Imagine that you've been unemployed and seeking work for months. Government benefit programs have helped you cover rent, utilities, and food, but you're barely getting by. Finally, you hear back about a job application. You receive your first paycheck in month, and things seem to be turning around. But there's a catch. Your new job pays just enough to disqualify you from the benefit program, and not enough to cover the same costs. To make things worse, you have paid to you have to pay you have to pay you have to pay you have to pay for transportation to work and childcare while you're at the office. Somehow you have less money now than when you were unemployed. Ya ampun, kayak begini. Economists call this demoralizing situation the welfare trap, one of the many different poverty traps affecting millions of people around the world. Ah, emoji punya aku. Poverty traps are economic and environmental circumstances that reinforce themselves, perpetuating poverty for generations. Some poverty traps are tied to an individual's circumstance like a lack of access to healthy food or education. Others can affect entire nations, such as cycle of corrupt government or climate change. But the cruel irony of welfare trap in particular is that they stem for, from the very policies designed to battle poverty. Most societies throughout history employed some strategies to help people in poverty meet basic needs. Before the 20th century, religious groups and private charities often led such initiatives. Today, these are called welfare programs, and they usually take the form of government-provided subsidies for housing, food, energy, and healthcare. Typically, these programs are mean-tested, meaning that only people who fall below a certain income level are eligible for benefits. This policy is designed this policy is designed to ensure it goes to those who need the most. But it also means people lose access as soon as they earn more than the qualification deserve, regardless of whether or not they're financial, financial, they're financially stable enough to stay here. This vicious cycles is harmful to both those in poverty and those outside of it. Financial. Mainstream economic model assume people are rational actors who weigh the cost and benefit of their option and choose the most advantageous path forward. If those in poverty now, they'll gain no net benefit from working. They're incentivized to remain in government assistance. Of course, people work for many reasons, including societal norms and personal values. But income is major incentive to pursuing employment. And when less people take on new job, the economy slows down, keeping people in poverty and potentially pushing people on the coast of poverty over the edge. Some have suggested the feedback loop could be removed by eliminating government assistance program altogether. But most agree the solution is neither realistic nor human. So how can we redesign benefit in a way that doesn't penalize people for working? Many countries have tried different ways to circumvent this problem. Some allow people to continue receiving benefit for a given period after finding a job, while other pass out benefit gradually as income increases. This policy still removes some financial incentive to work, but the risk of a welfare trap is lower. Other governments provide benefits like education, childcare, or medical care equally across all their citizens. On purpose, solutions take this idea of universal benefit even further. A universal basic income would provide a fixed benefit to all members of society, regardless of wealth or employment status. This is the only now policy that could entirely remove welfare traps. Science earned wage would supplement the benefit rather than replace it. In fact, by creating a stable income floor below which no one can fall, basic income might prevent people from falling into poverty in first place. Numerous economists and thinkers have championed this idea since the 80th century. But for now, universal basic income remains legally hypothetical, although it's been tried in some places on limited scale. These local experiments don't tell us much about how the police would play out across an entire nation or a planet. Whatever strategy government pursue, solving the welfare trap requires respecting people, agency, and autonomy. Only by empowering individuals to create long-term change in their life and community can we begin to break the cycle of poverty. Susah, susah, susah nanti. Financially stable enough to stay here, to stay there. But your thoughts, then the qualification, their thoughts, regardless of whether or not financial, they're financial stable enough to stay there. Oh, regardless of whether or not they're financially stable enough to stay there. The species cycle is harmful to both those in poverty and those outside of it, of it. Solution is neither realistic nor human. So how can we redesign benefit in a way? Imagine that you've been unemployed and seeking work from home. Government benefit programs have helped you cover rent, utilities, and food, but you're barely getting by. Finally, you head back about job application you received your first paycheck in a month, and things seem to be turning around. But there's a catch. Your new job faced it. Your new job you need you new job. Your new job pays is enough to disqualify you from the benefit programs and not enough to cover the same costs. To make things worse, You have to pay for transportation to work and childcare while you are at the office. Somehow, you have less money now than when you were unemployed. Namanya